welcome. Today I have a card share for you that I'm pretty excited about using the Hero Arts My Monthly Hero June 2018 kit. It was a beautiful kit, ocean kind of waves, beach themed. Unfortunately, it sold out very quickly. It even sold out, but by the time I got my email from Hero Arts on the Monday where they release the information about what the kit is in the email, and I had clicked on it, by the time I had even clicked on it to see what the add-ons were, the kit had sold out. So it sold out very quickly. I'm really sorry if you didn't get a chance to get the kit and that was something that you wanted. I did happen to take a peek on eBay thinking that I would pick up a kit later. No, I will not, because some of them are selling for over $200 right now. Craziness. Anyway, I'm really sorry. It is a beautiful kit. I did have a lot of fun with it. I did do an unboxing video as well, and I'll link that down below when I first got the kit if you want to see what came in the kit, because I don't have obviously some of that stuff left to show you. Or I guess maybe I do. Yeah, I don't think I used anything up from this kit. So when it looked all fresh and new, you can have a look at my unboxing video. And I'm also going to leave a link. I know it is sold out, obviously, but I will leave a link to the item on Hero Arts anyway down below. You bring it up, obviously it's going to say that it's sold out, but if you scroll down a little bit below that, if you were interested in any of the add-ons that came with the release, those will be kind of collected all there together as well. So a couple of things are out of stock, but these are just regular items that they will restock. They won't restock the kit, of course, that's gone. But like right now, as of this taping, I don't know when it's going to be aired, but as of this taping, the Seize the Day Seagull theme stamps that is sold out, they will eventually restock that. So if you're interested in any of the add-ons and they happen to be gone, keep checking back. However, I'm really sorry that you missed your chance on the kit if you didn't get it. Okay, so let's talk about what came in the kit really quick, and then we'll get into the card share, and then I had to show you my secret shame. I have to admit, I'm really excited about this, but I'm a little bit nervous at the same time that it's not going to, what I have to say and share is not going to be received well. Okay, so what did come in the kit is this gorgeous large 6x8 stamp set. This is a layering stamp set. If you follow my channel for any amount of time, you will know that probably the #1 reason why I'm a big Hero Arts fan and I keep sticking with the kit, even though I tend to destash them, obviously not this one, but I tend to destash them because I just kind of lose my steam on them, is for the layering stamps. Hero Arts does amazing layering stamps, and I absolutely love them. This one is definitely a very welcome addition to my collection, and as you will see, I got a lot more outside of the box use out of this kit that I had planned to. This is already proving to be pretty irreplaceable in my stash. The layering stamps are here. You have your base layer here, which is for your light color. Then you have a little bit of a detailed layer, which you would bring in your medium tone. And then the fine detail layer, which is your dark tones. This is obviously some beach. We have some writing in the sand here, font. We have a couple of different sentiments. We have some layering clouds as well. 3 different sizes of clouds. There's the medium, the large, and then there's a small here. A couple of silhouette images, so you could make in kind of like the skyline. You could have a boat or a dolphin, or there's a mermaid. Here's the mermaid somewhere. You have a beach chair and a beach ball that you can sit down on the beach. This comes with some dies. I didn't use many of the dies. I thought that I was going to, but I ended up, kind of my designs changed as I was working on them and as I was progressing on them, and I ended up not using the cloud dies at all, even though that was something that I had intended to. I ended up just making 1 layer backgrounds, but you'll see that as we get into it. But I did use the beach ball and the chair and the starfish, and I think that's it. So not too many dies to go with this kit, but then again, most of this the kit, this is this very large stamp set here, and this fits in the 4 1/4 inch side of a standard A2 greeting card right here. That fits pretty perfectly. Yeah. So I had a lot of fun with this, and I love this stamp right here, which is the seagulls flying in a distance. And I have another stamp set, just one other stamp set. I think it's a My Favorite Thing stamp set, like a ocean set from them, where it has 2 different skulls that come with it, and I always have to dig that out whenever I want some, because I can't draw. So whenever I want a little seagull in my beach scenes, I love scenic cards and I love outdoor scene cards, so I'm no stranger to beach cards to begin with, but I used to have to pull that out and then, you know, place, but then this step right here, I think will eliminate the need to have to worry about that. So I really, really loved this kit. What also came in here, okay, stamp set, I'm looking on my screen here to make sure I don't miss anything, because I'm known for that. Stamp set dies, 4 ink cubes right here in the 4 different colors. These are beautiful colors. Deep ocean, summer sky, soft sky, and soft granite. I really love the like the plastic clamshell that these come in, and I wonder if you can buy these just empty, because these are perfect, right? These are great. And I was thinking I could just get a bunch of pegs when I eventually get a craft room and just hang up my ink cubes. I think that would be great. I love having this here, and it keeps, you know what, I have a problem with my Hero Arts, because now I have, you know, I have like a whole box of Hero Arts ink that comes in these little kits, is that some of the tops just pop right off and there's, you know, nothing you can do about it. I've tried putting some Scotch tape on it to keep it closed, but then when I go to use it, I can't get the Scotch tape off and whatever. It's this big thing. Excuse me for a moment, my daughter's walking in. Hi, sweetness, mommy's taping. Anyway, so these colors are really beautiful. I really enjoyed working with those, and those were not colors that I had in my collection. Leah says hello. Hi. We're doing a card share. Okay, excuse me please, well, let me finish this. Also came in the kit a ½ ounce of this sand embossing powder, which turns out to be really fun. When it's actually heated and melted, it's sort of got this metallic sort of translucence to it. You can see there's a couple of different tones of brown in here that really does come very close to beach sand, and it embosses a little bit lighter than you see here, so it's almost like a white sandy beach sand. It just beautiful. I absolutely love it. I did watch a few other creators talking about the cards that they made with their kits, and kind of the universal thing is I hope that Hero Arts actually starts carrying this as a product, just in case. I will be hoarding this ½ ounce probably for the rest of my life, just in case. Also in the kit you get a fluid ounce of this Seafoam Shimmer Spray, which I did, it's just a spray pumpkin. I did kind of guess when I was unboxing it that it would be similar to the Sukineko Shimmer Spray, except tinted green, and I was pretty right. So I did have a chance to use this, and that's pretty much what it is, and it even seems to come out pretty close to the Sukineko, for me anyway, where occasionally I'll get a big blob of the glitter that will just come out, and you just have to kind of dab it with a little toothpick or whatever to break it up. And the last thing that came in the kit are these beach enamel stickers, which are really cute. They're made, they're for Hero Arts from Freckled Fawn. They are really cute. I just didn't have a chance to use them. But this is definitely something that I would use. It just didn't happen to fit into any of the cards that, the theme of the cards that I made. I might end up giving these away because they're really cute. I'm sure somebody would get some use out of them. So pretty much, yeah, this is what came in the kit. Oh, and the ribbon that, of course, closes the kit. And I didn't use any of the ribbon in any of my cards. It just didn't work out this month. But this is a beautiful color, and this is going to end up working out for another project. So I'm happy to have that. Okay, moving on. Let's get into the card share. Excuse me, Pumpkin. And I do have to say, I used a lot of other products that I brought in. I have been probably working on these cards for a good 3 weeks, maybe, just kind of working a little bit here and there. And I'm finding that's how I tend to work a little bit better, instead of having a kit and then just like forcing myself to work on it throughout the day. You'll notice, and it came very apparent to me very quickly when I first started uploading regular content to my YouTube channel, like way back in the fall. I am not a 10 cards, 1 kit type of person. I can't just sit down in front of something and then be expected to create. I mean, I could create, like, I could go on Pinterest and just do what somebody else does. Like, I could do that. I could do the physical labor, but I can't create anything that's from me, from my own brain and my own creativity that way. That's just not who I am. So again, you will notice that I'm not a 10 cards, 1 kit type person, even though I do love kits and I do buy kits and I do love sharing things. But I never sit down with that intention and that goal that that's what I'm going to get from something. So I do apologize if it is a little bit of a disappointment to anyone. in my little subby family here, that's just not who I am. I'm more of a, like, let's just do what I can and what I want to do with it, and then I'm either done with it or I will grab it again later. And that's just, I don't know, kind of my new philosophy maybe in the past year or so with craft stuff, is that I don't have to marry it. You know, if it doesn't work out, then I can just destash it, or move on to it another time. So it does take me a little bit more time to get through my stuff, because I will work on a little bit and then I'll get back to it. Anyway, with this particular kit, I did end up bringing a lot of other projects in, or products in rather, and I will kind of get to those as I get to those. I started off, kind of my philosophy when I started off doing this was, obviously it's a beach kit. I wanted to do beach things. And everybody else was doing the beach things, and the beach things were everywhere, so I had to do it and get it out of my system. So let me show you the beach cards that I did. I think I did 4 of those, so let me get some of this stuff out of the way here. So these are the cards that I did that were kind of beachy. And this is the point when I realized that I was going to make this almost a 1-layer card. I was going to, let me just go through the whole thing here. So I started off with stamping the layers here, kind of like the approximate place that I wanted my ocean water. Then of course I've got my light, and I did use on this one, I did use the inks that came with the kit. Kind of my light and medium and dark. And then I heat embossed the beach with that beautiful embossing pattern. You can see just how gorgeous and how actual beachy that is. And then I masked off the bottom here so that I didn't get any ink on it. And then I did some ink blending on the top. And I used, this will come of no surprise to anyone, I used my favorite things, cloud stencil. Every background I do now uses that. And I put some layered clouds in there. And then I was originally going to stamp out some of the layering clouds here and then cut them out with the dies. But I ended up changing my mind on that, because I wanted to stamp some other things. And you'll see the other cards as well. I wanted to stamp like some sentiments and some birds and stuff in the sky area. And because I was limited to just this small space to do that, I didn't want a die cut distracting from what I wanted to stamp with my design. So instead of having a die cut cloud, I just made the cloud part of the background. So I did struggle a lot with the clouds, getting them to come out the way that I wanted them to come out. I found that the soft granite ink was a little bit too dark for what I wanted to do with it, and my grays are pretty limited. I have I think it's called a cool granite or a soft granite from Ranger. I have the smoke distress ink, and then I have like a slate ink from Close to My Heart, and that's it for my grays, and those are all kind of like pretty much the same tone of gray, and I found that this was even a little bit too dark. So what I tried to do originally was I stamped my light layers in the Hero Arts Unicorn Pigment White, and that seemed to help a little bit, and then I put some gray on top of it. So you're going to see pretty much no 2 cloud backgrounds are going to come out the same, because it's just me continually trying something else to see if I could get the mix that worked for me, so that I could write it down so that I wouldn't forget. I'd write it down in a little note and slip it right in here what color combination I had used, but I never ended up finding it with what I have on hand. So I will keep working and experimenting and seeing what I have, the way that what I want to do with the clouds. And I did several kinds of different backgrounds. I did nice blue skies, and then I did some where I wanted like gray storm skies as well. So, but I never ended up finding it, so you will know 2 of the cloud areas you'll notice are going to be the same. Anyway, so that is the story on all of these, and that can apply to all of the cards that you see in the future. Excuse me. This one I have a couple of excuse me, I'm so sorry. Beach chairs and beach ball, and the little starfish here. And then this one I thought was super cute. Again, with the little beach chairs, which are just stamped and then die cut, a little starfish. And this is See You Soon, but I did the little mermaid sitting on the rock out here. I love this one. I love that little mermaid. I think I'm going to make this card again for a friend. I wasn't paying too much attention. I just kind of picked the sentiments that I wanted to use, and then I put the sentiments on the cards without giving it too much thought, and I wish that I hadn't done that, because this one says see you soon, and I probably would have put like an I miss you or something on this card because I want to send this card to a friend. So I'm going to have to make it again and just put the proper sentiment on her, because unfortunately I will not be seeing her soon, so that doesn't apply. And this one I probably had the most trouble with. Again, you can see that the different evolution of the different layering inks here on the clouds. The problem with this one is the sentiment down on the bottom, the hello. I wanted to play with the beach writing here. You know, like if you put your finger in the sand and you're right in the beach. And I tried heat embossing over the heat embossing, and that was not working. This is like 3 or 4 different attempts at trying to heat emboss over it, because at this point I figured I had just ruined it. I had ruined it. You can see that it's solid. You can't even tell what it's supposed to be. So I will not be doing that again. I'm not actually sure, because I know other people have made the card using this over the heat embossing, and I actually haven't watched too many of the videos, so I'm not entirely sure how they do that, but I should make a point to check that out. And here is the last one in this little set of cards that I had worked on at this time. Again, the clouds are different. This one we have a little island in the distance, and the same thing with the darn heat embossing on top of the heat embossing. I wasn't getting it to go through. It was very frustrating. And all of these are matted with some really pretty gold cardstock, metallic gold cardstock that I found in my stash that I thought would look really nice here. Okay. I'm going to pause you for just a moment because my daughter is standing here and I don't know what she needs, so I'll be right back. Hello, I'm back. Sorry about that. It says summer vacation, so it's hard to get pretty much anything done without without being disturbed. So I had left off, I had shown you these 4 cards. So this was the my first foray into working with this June kit, kind of trying to do what everybody else had done because it's a lot of fun. So as I'm working on this kit, the wheels in my brain are working as I'm going through different things, and obviously I had stamped this out a few times, and I had stamped this out even more times just practicing on some scratch paper. So it's occurring to me as I'm stamping this, you see how this is sort of a solid coastline here, and then we have the water, the tide brushing up on the shore a little bit and a little curve. So it's occurring to me as I'm stamping this out that if you flip this over, if you flip this image over, it looks like choppy waters, right? You've got the sort of the waves crusting up above and the different qualities to the water moving, you know, if it's inclement weather. So it occurs to me upside down that the peaceful calm of the beach is now sort of choppy ocean waters at this point. So the idea had sparked in my brain. So once I was done with these cards, I decided to play with this idea a little bit. Now this the layering ocean stamp part doesn't come with a die. So I had stamped in using some different colors, because although I did like this color combination, it wasn't quite as dark open ocean as I was going for. So I had stamped them out with slightly different blues, and then I fussy cut them out, and then I flipped them upside down. So then we have the evolution of these cards here. So you can see that the blues are slightly different than I used here. I've got a Ranger, I think it's Blue Yonder Ranger ink is the one that I brought in for the background, substituting the soft sky here that I brought in. Oh, one of my hairs here, sorry. One of my hairs is stuck on the ink cubes. It sort of brought a different quality to it, and this one to me said more open ocean, dark blue waters. So I fussy cut them out and I flipped it upside down so that the part that is the tide coming in on the beach is actually just some cresting waves here in the water. So I mounted these again to some backgrounds that, again, the exact same thing with the backgrounds. I used my cloud stencil, the same thing with stamping, trying to figure out between the whites and the grays, trying to figure out a good combination, stamping these layering clouds in the background. In fact, I think I made the backgrounds at all the same time, so I had these in my stash all ready to pull from. So same thing. So some of the clouds are going to look different because, again, this is just the evolution of my experimentation. So this one looked more open ocean to me, and this didn't have a lot of open oceany elements to it. So at this point, I've moved past sort of relaxing on the beach, and now I'm somewhere out on the open ocean. So I dug into my stash and I found a My Favorite Things stamp set, You Float My Boat, little stamp and die set that I had picked up for a really good price quite a while ago, and I had never actually opened it. And I kind of forgot about it in my stash, and I wanted to give it a try. So I stamped out a couple of different boats, and then I used the die cuts to die cut them out. And then I used those for my little cards here. And the sentiments in here are, you float my boat, there's an ahoy, and you are my anchor. And I really like this You Are My Anchor stamp as well. The sentiment is really sweet. So I've got this one here, just a very simple boat with a You Float My Boat sentiment. And then the same thing for this one, You Float My Boat on the open ocean. I really love the color combination on this one, and I thought it was really cool the way just flipping the image upside down changed the quality of the water that we were looking at. And then there's this one here, which is You Are My Anchor, and I stamped, they have a little sort of like a little trail here. I'm sorry for the shadow. It's dark outside and my lighting is not great, so I don't mean to intentionally create shadow here. And then of course there's a little anchor stamp, and I stamp those down on the bottom. I'm going to give this card to my husband. Okay. So that was the evolution from there. So I'm thinking, as I'm working with this is really cool. And this is where it gets really strange. So I do apologize in advance. At this point I was thinking this can totally not be ocean anymore. I'm thinking at this point, wouldn't it be fun to make other different kinds of open bodies of water, and more specifically, I'm really embarrassed, but this is the way that my mind goes. More specifically, what if it was like a big pile of like toxic waste or something? Or some kind of like spooky, you know, haunted water source or whatnot. So now we can take all of these, you know, beautiful ocean things and just throw them out the window, and now we get into the embarrassing part of the way that my mind works. So I decided to do kind of the same process with the waters upside down, only using a completely different color palette. And I made some Halloween cards. And I made, more specifically, that green sort of spooky, some kind of perhaps haunted water source or something. The same thing, just different colors. Obviously I pulled in some yellows and some greens. I flipped it upside down so that the waters would be choppy. I treated the water with that green shimmer spray, which is really cool. I don't know if you can see. It sort of gave it, I'm sorry for the shadow, it sort of gave it a little bit of a different quality to it. Very cool. So, and this one is just a Halloween stamp set that I found in my stash. I actually made these for my my nephew and my nieces, so so I was just playing with them. In the background, I have to see if it'll work, but I stamped using my I'm standing up right now. My Wow Glow in the Dark embossing powder. I have quite a bit left over from last year, so I don't know if this is going to work if I turn off the light. If you can see that it's glowing or not, because my computer is still on. Maybe it's next to me, so it's not going to work. But I stamped some stars using I don't have it in front of me to show you, but the Sweet Stamp Shop retro background set had 4 different of these same stars. So I mounted them all to a stamping block and tried to make. Oh, here we go. A little bit better than that. I spent a little bit more time in the light. I don't know if you can tell. It might still be a little bit too bright in here with the computer screen to see, but that is what I used to help stamp out a quick starry night background on these, just for a little bit of fun. And I did heat emboss a Happy Halloween sentiment on the inside. On 2 of these, I played around because I can't let it go. I played around a little bit with that cloud stencil again and some of the very light gray oxide ink, and tried to stencil on some night clouds, like if it was a cloudy dark night. It didn't work super well, and I don't know if you can tell. I mean, it's fine enough for what my purposes are, but I won't be trying it again. But anyway, So that is the evolution of that thought. How we went from ocean to some kind of a haunted water source or acid rain water or something. This could even be maybe she's flying over a large cauldron of witch's brew or something, but that is where I took this from, and you can see that it worked really well for any kind of open water source, I guess, just depending on which way you want to view the stamp, upside down or this way. Or right side up. It's pretty versatile, and I was really surprised, but that is unfortunately not where I left it. I also thought, hey, that was easy. I wonder if I could make lava. So I did. I made lava with the stamps as well. And I broke out, because I hadn't had a chance to use it yet, I broke out my my favorite things, a Volcano interactive die set, and also the Lava You little sentiment stamp set, which absolutely cracks me up. I broke that out to play with this as well, and I actually did film a process video on putting these together. It'll probably take me a while to kind of Frankenstein everything together and do the voiceover, but I did film as I was doing this, just because it was a little bit, it's not hard, but I had a little bit, and it's not hard to figure out, but I'm not using some of the products that they use in the My Favorite Things tutorial video, so just kind of showing a little bit about how I got around that. Anyway, so I made lava, and I actually don't even know if you can tell too much from the background, because I ended up cutting these down just from the nature of the interactive set here. I ended up having to cut them down because it has to be mounted because of the foam, because of the interactive things. But I don't know if you can tell too much, but I used orange and red and a very dark red, and sure enough, it made lava. So I made four just different sentiments. These are all the same cards, just four different sentiments from the set. Most of the sentiments amused me, but I will be completely honest with you. Aside from having to layer the stamps, and again on these ones as well, the same thing with the backgrounds. I did them the exact same way that I made the backgrounds on the other ones, only in these ones I used, for the cloud stencils, I used gray because I wanted to look like a stormy sky, like the sky is thick with, you know, the gray smoke and soot that's coming out of the volcanoes. And the same thing with the layering stamps, only these ones were a little bit, for the clouds, these ones were a little bit easier for me because, again, I knew it was going to be a thick dark cloud, so I just used soft granite, and I used my actually, what is it called, black soot distress oxide ink for the top layer here, so those were a little bit easier. Anyway, so these are the same backgrounds, they're just cut down to be a little bit smaller than the backgrounds that I used on these one, only because I needed to have a smaller section for the interactive unit. It is not, it's pretty time consuming to get everything assembled and make sure that it's working right. So my intention was I was going to make a card for like every sentiment and have lots of cards, and I was going to put them in my Etsy shop, and it was going to be this big thing. And you know what, it's like, it's not, it does take quite a bit. I'm sure that I will continue to get better, and it will get faster with more practice, but it is not a quick and simple thing. For me anyway, it does not just push together, but it is really cute. You pull the little pull tab here, and the little volcano spurts out the top. Very cute. So I do have a process video on this one coming eventually, and that is it. That is my lava and water, and then open ocean, and then beach, and that is kind of how I use this kit. I know that it's really unconventional, and I hope that it doesn't offend anyone, or that, you know, anybody at Hero Arts doesn't see it as offended that I didn't make all beach stuff, but really that's just kind of where my brain took me to, and I went with it. I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing for the whole kit. I mean, I did a couple, and then I just kind of moved on from there. I did my own thing. So I hope that you have enjoyed what I have to share, and I do hope that you don't mind seeing videos like this from me in the future, because again, I had so much fun with it, just kind of like, and normally this isn't the sort of thing that I would share. I would just show you guys these things, and that's what I've done historically with pretty much anything else that I've done. If I've done something weird or outside of the box, or maybe I've used, you know, an inappropriate sentiment or whatever on things. I wouldn't show it on camera, but I was like, you know what? You need to see where my brain took me to, and that's literally the evolution of where it went. Is I started with one thing, and then it changed a little bit, and then it changed again, and then again, and again, and then that's where it took me to. I hope that you've enjoyed it, at the bare minimum that has inspired you to kind of look outside the box a little bit at some of the things that you might have in your stash that you can see in a completely different way. I think it was just a fleeting moment. It occurred to me that by flipping this stamp upside down, that it had the quality of the water took on a different kind of property to me, and then I kind of ran with it. Anyway, that's what I have. I hope that you've enjoyed. Thanks so much for your very kind attention, and I will speak with you later. Bye.